the Catz S.T.R.I.K.E. Window disable, 7 memory settings, gamer inspire motif, macroable keys, cool looking spacebar, a handlebar in the front. Is this the gaming keyboard you have been looking for? I'm Rio Gion, and this is Rio Gion Keyboards. The board does come with a wrist rest, which has nice and very glossy patches that are very fingerprint attractive. And overall, I do like the design of the wrist rest. What I find incohesive is that the soft plastic look of the keyboard and the hard plastic sort of matte look with the wrist rest, it just doesn't seem like it goes together. It seems like it's two different pieces that they kind of thrown in. But besides that, if you were to take away the wrist rest, the keyboard does look pretty handsome. The board comes with very interesting looking Feats that are actually quite unique to the board. I haven't seen any other manufacturer actually did Feats like this. But very interesting note is that the Feats do have rubber, and the sad part is that we have a rubber cable, which is not good. But we do have a silver USB tip, which is great, and we have cable management Velcro, which I very much appreciate that. The board is nice and planted and with interesting looking feet. You know you're gonna have a good time. The M1 through 7 that you see in the beginning of the video are not memory settings. What is memory settings? Are the modes 1, 2, and 3, and you can find that next to the M1 button, where the mode will change color according to the profiles that you set it to. So the M1 through 7 are actually macro keys, which means that not every key is macroable. So you're left with going all the way to the top beyond the realm of the F keys to hit a designated command. Now, I do realize that you get to actually customize whatever the commands are, which is cool, but not every key is macroable. And to add insult to injury, the keys that are macroable is all the way to the right where the arrow keys are. Please explain how is this good for the MMO players? Because I certainly don't know how to explain that. You are expected to take your hand off the mouse to hit some of the keys that are supposedly macroable. So the only keys that are macroable, once again, are these ones, and these ones all the way up here. You do get to control some of the lighting effects, and by lighting effects, it's either on or off, WASD, or arrows. That's it. This is actually very limiting. So, unless I am somehow in the wrong software, or there's going to be a driver update later on, or something that's going to change in the future that makes every single key macroable. And the M1 through 7s are actually profile keys instead of macroable keys. And this won't go away. I just know that this will not go away with a driver update. So this is gonna be nice fancy decoration keys. Then they did a good job, but obviously that's not the case. So I don't think they did a really good job designing the keyboard, especially in terms of the software and the programmable keys. This is a great keyboard for FPS gameplay. For RTS, it's also pretty good as well. For MMO, I say forget it. Unless they somehow fix the software to have every single key become macroable, then I'd still say it's really a stretch for MMO players, because you have to go through the F keys to actually hit those M keys, and then like the Bank of Macro, they should have just done it to the left side like most other companies. I know they are trying to innovate, I know that they're trying to be different, but it's not good. And for MMO, I'm gonna have to say forget it. For RTS and FPS, yeah, this is as good as a regular keyboard can be, because you can't really macro keys. So for RTS, if you're used to your keys functioning certain ways, yeah, better get used to not having that anymore. And for FPS, it's perfectly fine for FPS. It's Kale Brown switch, comfortable to use, comfortable to hold for long durations. Overall, for gameplay, as a gaming keyboard, by the way, then yeah, FPS all the way. The Kale Brown switch are actually very smooth to type. Seems to be a little bit stiffer than the Cherry MX Browns in this particular case, but overall I do very much enjoy typing on this keyboard. It feels nice and smooth. The strokes are buttery smooth and the clicks are nice. It does somewhat make a click, but not a very loud one, even though it's brown. And it's something that once again you can definitely hear in the typing video, but that could have just been the keys hitting the PCB. But besides that, I do very much like the particular implementation of the Kale Brown in this particular board. Feels very smooth, and most importantly, it keeps me typing. Like, I still want to type after a nice essay or an article or something like that. I'm still very motivated to type after typing for long durations, which is very good job for them. I really do like the fact that the window disable is a switch. I think that's very nice. And for $99.99, there are some flaws. There are indeed some flaws, but it's not the worst keyboard, and it's not overly priced. But that handlebar really does look nice, and there are better keyboards out there. There are a lot more better keyboards for $99.99.
Let it go, make my body go, make our bodies higher and higher.